Hey, good morning, church. I pray all is well this Friday as you get up and begin to study God's Word and set your heart toward what He has for you this day. We're going to be studying Daniel chapter 10. And now, I'll tell you, Daniel chapter 10 is the start of the last vision that Daniel has. And it's going to continue into chapter 11 and then throughout 12 as well. So this vision and this talk about this vision is from here through the end of the book. But it begins here. And before we get started into this, I want to just say also to everyone, I want to recommend a book. If you've never read a book that is called This Present Darkness, it's by Frank Peretti. I would highly encourage you to go purchase that book and to read it. Now, it's a fictional book. However, I believe that there's some real truth inside that book. And every time I read Daniel chapter 10, I'm reminded of that book. And how that book describes spiritual battles and the wars that are going on in the world that we can't see, the spiritual battles and what we fight against. And we'll talk about that here in just a little bit when we talk about Daniel chapter 10. Now, at the beginning of Daniel chapter 10, you have this time of fasting that you see Daniel go through. In fact, he fasts for 3 weeks. He stays away from meat. He stays away from wine, and that is described. And then there is this spiritual being that appears to Daniel, and Daniel describes it and what it looks like. Now, there are some people that believe that this is Christ. I personally do not, and I'll explain to you why I don't here in just a little bit. But I think this is one of the warring angels or messenger angels that were coming to speak to Daniel. Daniel becomes very weak, and this spiritual being kind of helps give Daniel back his strength. But I want you to see what happens over here in verse number 12. In verse number 12, this spiritual being is saying to Daniel, says, "Then he said to me," this spiritual being, "Do not fear, Daniel, for from the first day that you had set your heart to understand and to humble yourself before God, the words that you heard, and I have come because of your words." So from the very first day that Daniel started to seek an understanding, from that day, this angel takes off to come and deliver the message to Daniel. Then look at verse number 13. "But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me for 21 days. And so there's this spiritual battle that takes place. This messenger angel is trying to get to Daniel. God has said, "Hey, go tell Daniel this," and he takes off. And then he gets into a battle, a spiritual battle, with this demonic being that is the prince of the king of Persia. And they fought for 21 days. And then keep reading there. And it says, "And behold, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me." And it's that phrase right there that says, I don't think this was Christ that was talking to Daniel here, because Christ would not need help where this angel did. And so that's my reasoning on why I don't think this was Christ, is because of that statement. But so Michael comes and helps this angel out, and the angel then gets to come and talk to Daniel and strengthens Daniel. And so now you'll begin to read through what the vision is and what's Daniel talking about. But this is the importance of chapter 10 to me. Folks, the truth of the spiritual battle that we're facing. We fight against principalities, against powers of wickedness that we cannot see. And when we go to war, we got to go to war in the spiritual battle place, not in the physical. So if somebody attacks you, folks, they're attacking you in the spiritual world. Let's fight that spiritual battle, not this physical battle. And you see this painted perfectly in Daniel chapter 10. So always be prepared for that. Always have your mindset on that. Now, we'll pick up the story on Monday with chapter 11 as we'll continue hearing what goes on. But I do encourage you to go out and get that book that I recommended. It helps describe what takes place here in Daniel chapter 10. Hope that you enjoyed it, the study of God's Word. Look forward to seeing you Sunday morning. You have a great day.